Before we look at the first type of question, we want to make sure that we have a practice assessment made in your Sandbox course for this workshop. So here I am, I'm in my Sandbox course. There is a reminder on how to do this in the Start Here page of this workshop. And I have already set up all of the parameters of this practice assessment. So I'm going to jump right in here. If this looks unfamiliar to you and you have not taken Schoology Assessments Part 1, I do recommend that you stop this course now and go and take Schoology Assessments Part 1, where you get the foundation for creating an assessment using the assessment tool and the standard question types. Because we're jumping into questions here, we've already done our setup, and we're going to start with the first of our enhanced question types, which is short answer essay. So I'm going to do the same thing I do for those standard questions. I'm going to click on the type of question I want to add, and this is going to be my question making area. So I see at the top, this is a short answer essay, and I have a box to compose my question. So I get all of those same editing tools that I have always had all over Schoology, and I drop in my question here. So I have explained the difference between the two past tenses, narrative past and conversational past in German. Not a question I'd probably ask, but it just came to mind. So once you have your question composed here, you have some text formatting options that you can give your students. By default, you will see bold, italic, underline, bullet list, and number list already selected for a short answer essay question. But you do have some other tools that you can give your students to use. For example, for our world language teachers, they can do the special characters and add in the special characters that they want their students to have available to them during the test. And then these would show up as an extra box for students to select those special characters. But you can add images, you can add some formatting for left align, right align, center. You can play around with these. You can also turn off the default ones. I often just turned all of these off to clean it up for my students a little bit. Down here, you see the word limit. By default, it is 10,000 words. You can change this to shorten it or lengthen it, or you can turn show word count off. Word limit, you have the options of having that always visible, on limit, or off. And you can also toggle on allowing submissions over the word limit. So it really just depends on what you are asking your students, how much you expect to get from your students. Those are parameters that you would decide for yourself. I'm going to turn some of these options back on and preview this question to show you what this would look like for your students. So here your students see the prompt at the top, and then they have a place to start typing their response. And you see the word count. I added one word, the, and my word count is now at 1 of 10,000. So this is a good tool to have if you do want to limit your students to 200 words, 500 words, 1,000 words, whatever. They can see that count going. And they also have the basic text options up here, the bold, italic, underline that I had on for my students. So the last thing to know is you can add learning objectives. You can also add a rubric to any short answer essay question. You can add a rubric that you have already created in your resources area, or you can create it here. I do recommend that you create that in your resources area first. And if you don't know how to do that, there is a Schoology rubrics course that you can also take. And then you would simply click save. As a note, these are not automatically graded. Being a short answer essay, you would have to go in and grade this question yourself manually. Over here, as with the standard question types, you can change the amount of points that this question is worth. So that is our short answer essay. Can be used in a lot of different ways for your students.